We also need to address the job magnet that brings illegal, undocumented people into the United States. We need to make it more difficult to hire undocumented people. Our bill does it. We require all employers to use a mandatory electronic employment verification system to verify the employees are legal. Job applicants would have to show identifying documents such as a U.S. passport, driver's license, or biometric work authorization card. And it includes photo identification. The employer in any business in any town across America with access to a computer goes to the E-Verify system, enters the vital information about the person sitting across the table applying for the job, pushes the button, and waits to see if the photo that comes across the computer screen is the same photo as the one that's been presented. There's the verification. The employment contract can go forward. Our bill will reform our legal immigration system to strengthen our economy, our families, and our workers. We need to ensure that families that have been separated for many years can be finally reunited. Employers should be given a chance to hire an immigrant worker when truly needed. But first, and I insisted on this throughout, first, we require that you have to offer the job to an American before you bring in a foreign worker. Our first obligation, whatever state you represent, is to the people we represent, particularly those who are out of work. This bill requires, when there is a job opening, before you can offer it to a foreign worker, you must offer it to an American. Maybe they can't fill the job. Maybe they don't have the qualifications. Maybe you need some specialty. Well, then you can go forward under specific conditions here with limitations in hiring that foreign worker. We've been told by the business community, especially high tech, that there's a need for more high-skilled workers in our country. Mr. President, last week I went to the Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago. There's an incubator there, and in small suites of offices, amazing things are underway. Some of them I can't even explain to you. I'm a liberal arts lawyer, okay? The closest I ever got to real science was political science, and that doesn't count. And I tried to listen and absorb as much as I could about what they were doing at this fabulous institution. Some of the things they're doing there are dramatically reducing the cost of producing biological vaccines and medicines. Medicines that are used, for example, in cancer therapy. To cut the cost in half, they're experimenting on new ways to do that. I met a young man named Bo Sung from China. The man who was introducing us was from India himself, and he was the head of the project. He said this young man came to the Illinois Institute of Technology and to Chicago to get an advanced degree. He is possibly, he said, the smartest student I've ever had in any class. Straight A's in China, learned English, and came here to learn more. He's working on this project. I got to meet him. He was kind of a shy, friendly in a way, standing off to the side, and they brought him over. And I said to him, well, let me ask you, Mr. Sung, would you be interested in staying in the United States and developing this project? He said, if I could, I would. So here was a man brought for an education in the United States who will soon be given a choice to go back to China or to stay in the United States. His preference was to stay here. We require in this bill that if you have an advanced degree in STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and math, an advanced degree, and you have a job offer, that you be offered a green card. A green card is a path to legalization and citizenship. I think that's a smart thing to do. I can recall attending the graduation at the same school just a few years back where it seemed every advanced degree was going to someone from India or South Asia. And I thought to myself, what a sad situation. We're handing them advanced degrees, which they earned in the United States at the best schools, and we're handing them a map on how to find their way back to O'Hare and leave. This is a better approach. If there's a job offer, we need to keep this talent in America. It just won't employ that person It will employ many others who can work for the companies that they're going to help. Employers under our bill will be given a chance to hire temporary foreign workers when they truly need it after they've tried to recruit Americans for the same jobs. We also require that any employer who hires a foreign worker must pay a fee to be set aside for a fund to help train Americans. Let's put the cards on the table here. If you go to the graduation ceremonies at these schools, the best engineering schools in America, you will find a majority of foreign students. That is the reality today. So let's change the reality. Let's take the fees that we will collect when these foreign students trained in the United States are brought here to work, take the fees and create, as we do in this bill, scholarships and college funds for American engineering students. Let's grow our own in this country. Let's make sure we have young people coming out of our high schools and colleges who are prepared to get advanced degrees who are from America. There's nothing wrong with that. That's our first obligation. This bill will do that. In Illinois, more than 40% of the students who earn master's or doctoral degrees in STEM fields are temporary non-immigrants. In 2011, almost 2,700 specialists in advanced fields like computer science, programming, biomedicine, who earned degrees in Illinois, couldn't obtain visas upon their graduation. 1 year, 2,700 of them. Yet we will need in Illinois alone 320,000 STEM graduates in the next 5 years. It makes no sense. Training them at the best schools in Illinois, knowing we need them in Illinois, and telling them to leave, it makes no sense. Our bill allows employers to sponsor for a green card any student who graduates from a U.S. school with advanced degrees in STEM fields. We also have a significant increase in H1-B visas for skilled workers. We have now a limit of about 65,000 H1-B visas a year. It can go up to 115,000 depending on the supply and demand, and even as high as 180,000. For the first time, though, employers will be required to post the job at the Department of Labor website for 30 days before they hire a foreign worker. Going back to the point I made earlier, first offer the job to an American. Under current law, employers are permitted to pay H-1B visa holders substandard wages. We change it. We raise the wages to be paid to these H-1B workers. We don't want to create incentive to bring in low-wage foreign workers. We want a good wage to be offered to an American first. We also take important steps to crack down on the biggest abuse of H-1B visas, outsourcing American jobs. When most people think of H-1B visas, these are visas to bring in professionals, you automatically think of high-tech companies like Microsoft and Google, hiring the engineers they need, paying them top dollar. The reality today is dramatically different. In fiscal year 2012, all of the top 10 H-1B visa applicants were outsourcing firms, foreign firms. These 10 companies used 40% of all the H-1B visas. Under current law, employers can legally use the H-1B visa program for outsourcing. We change it. We phase out this abuse of the H-1B system so that those who will be using the H-1Bs will actually be hiring those employees they need.